Oh wow, friends! Top economists are now debating on whether another round of stimulus checks would help Americans cope with inflation, or will it only worsen the economy? But many Democrats are in support of a fourth federal round of stimulus money. But this relief may come either in the form of a one-time deposit or smaller monthly checks. So my friends, please make sure that you watch until the end of this video for the complete details. Also know that I will be giving away a $50 Walmart gift card every day during this month of December. Please enter the giveaways by clicking and liking several of my videos. Then comment below the keyword of each video that you watch. My friends, the more videos that you comment on, the more likely your chances of winning these giveaways.
Communities could have lost access to chemicals necessary to ensure clean drinking water. Farms and ranches across the country would have been unable to feed their livestock. And thanks to the bill Congress passed and one I'm about to sign, we've spared the country that catastrophe. At the same time, we ensured workers are going to get a historic 24% wage increase over the next 5 years, improved working conditions, and peace of mind around their health care. And look, I know this bill doesn't have paid sick leave that these rail workers and frankly every worker in America deserves. But that fight isn't over. I didn't commit we were going to stop just because we couldn't get it in this bill that we were going to stop fighting for it. I've supported paid sick leave for a long time. I'm going to continue that fight till we succeed. And I want to thank Congress, Democrats and Republicans, for acting so quickly. I know this was a tough vote for members of both parties. It was a tough for me, but it was the right thing to do at the moment, to save jobs, to protect millions of working families from harm and disruption, and to keep supply chains stable around the holidays, and to continue the progress we've made and we continue to see on the economy. For months, you couldn't look anywhere without seeing headlines screaming, gas prices at the pump are up. But look, folks, gas prices are down. And you barely hear anything about it right now. They're continuing to go down. And there's a lot more that's going to happen. They're down more than $1.50 a gallon since the summer. And they continue to fall. And our economy continues to grow. The economic report, the GDP is up even more than it was previously thought. We continue to create jobs, lots of jobs. And today, we've learned that the economy added 263,000 jobs in November. And we've now created 10.5 million jobs since I took office, more than any administration in history at this point in the presidency. And 750,000 of them are domestic manufacturing jobs made in America. Unemployment rate remains near an all-time 50-year low.
So after a booming recovery in 2021, as America emerged from the lockdowns of the crisis, the economy in 2022 is at a crossroad. Massive stimulus packages that was passed by Congress in 2020 and 2021 helped keep the United States out of a deep recession. However, according to some economists, the influx of capital to businesses and individuals also helped prop up the inflation rate. The dilemma policymakers now face is whether putting additional money in the pockets of Americans will drive inflation even higher, or if it will allow them to better cope with rising costs. Although the amount can be debated, economists insist that there is still no doubt that the $5 trillion that was released into the American economy during the crisis had at least some effect on rising inflation. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, stimulus payments had a quantifiable effect of adding about 3% to the U.S. inflation rate by the end of 2021, and prices have only climbed higher since then. That bank balances in the United States soared as stimulus payments were being distributed, and they still remain higher than their pre-crisis levels. The clearest argument for additional federal stimulus comes from the actual data recorded by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, which found that government action during the heat of the crisis kept 11 million Americans out of poverty. According to the government, which they have stated, the most impactful programs for alleviating poverty were economic impact payments under the American Rescue Plan and unemployment compensation. Elaine Mag, a senior research fellow at the Tax Policy Center, told reporters that another federal stimulus check really could help Americans cope with rising inflation, particularly those with lower incomes. According to Elaine Mag, these types of households tend to have less money in emergency savings. So delivering some sort of cash benefit now would sort of protect them from the inflation that's happening around them. Former presidential candidate Andrew Yang feels that stimulus packages have gotten too much of the blame for inflation. Yang recently told CNBC News, "Money in people's hands for a couple of months last year was a very, very minor factor, in that most of that money has long since been spent, and yet you continue to see inflation rise." Andrew Yang has long been a proponent of universal basic income, and he feels that additional direct payments to Americans will help keep the economy stable during any future crisis and keep more Americans out of poverty. So, dear friends, what are your thoughts on this? Please let me know what you think caused inflation. Please leave those thoughts in the comment section below. Friends, the key word for this video today is grandfather mountain. If you would like to enter the next Walmart gift card giveaway, which is scheduled for later today, please make sure that you click and like several of my videos and then comment below this keyword, which is grandfather mountain, and additional keywords of any video of mine that you watch. And do make sure, friends, that you're also subscribed to my channel. Many U.S. states have taken things into their own hands. For example, California legislators have proposed $400 checks for residents who drive cars, while Georgia Governor Brian Kemp signed into law $250 stimulus checks for single taxpayers and $500 for joint filers. Other state legislatures, including those of Illinois, Idaho, New Jersey, and more, also are considering various proposals. State stimulus packages are of small enough scope that they likely will not push up inflation by any additional amount, whereas the federal government spent trillions of dollars over numerous stimulus rounds, ultimately providing most Americans with $3,200 or even more. State stimulus amounts are typically limited to $500 or less, with many focused solely on lower income taxpayers. These smaller targeted amounts may actually help Americans cope with inflation without driving inflation any higher. The Hawaii legislature approved a tax rebate earlier this year that provides $300 to residents who earn less than $100,000 in 2021. Those who earn more than $100,000 will receive a one-time payout of $100. The Hawaii Department of Taxation said that payments began processing in August, with most payments to be sent out by the end of this year. Also, Maine taxpayers who filed a 2021 state tax return and who are single and have an adjusted gross income of less than $100,000 or $150,000 if filing as head of household and $200,000 if married and filing jointly, will receive a one-time payment of $850. But couples who file jointly will receive $1,700. Well, my amazing and beautiful dear friends, that is the end of my daily stimulus update video for this Friday. Thank you so much, friends, for joining me here every day as I post a new video. And I truly hope that you found some of this information helpful. Remember, friends, I'll be announcing another winner for the Walmart gift card giveaway in a video later today. So please make sure that you do stay tuned for that video. Thank you and have a wonderful and blessed Friday.